social support and safeguarding support. So I think those are three big concerns for me.
We just take those two separately. I mean, in the case of the exams, what can you do to allay the concerns of students and their parents about that? This special report from Wuhan is by Vincent Lee. This is Wuhan's
It's coronavirus at the moment. is going through the professional game. The Football League of the Women's Super League.
Something's happened on my mobile phone. I just texted it and nothing's going through, so I don't know what's going on. Right, let's change the playlist.
Day on day, these figures are going to rise. What's worth remembering is that these are the numbers that have been tested. They represent a tiny fraction of the total number of people that are thought to
I've got the news on in the other room. There's nothing much new from yesterday, really. I think that the politicians, like Boris Johnson's done his business yesterday. Now the weekend is the weekend, and I was just turn that off now and just, you know, the coronavirus is spreading anyway, and we know what we've got to do, so I might just turn the news off now. I mean, I can't see that there's going to be anything. I might just be wasting my time watching it now. I mean, I'm not really sure, but I don't want it on a weekend anyway, and it's Friday. Let's turn it off. Right, now we're going to leave the television off all weekend till Monday morning. So if any of you know anything about coronavirus, you need to let me know. But I think I know what the facts are now. I think that's why he came in on Thursday. I mean, Wednesday they had Prime Minister question time. Thursday he came in with his speech. And that's it. I think Wednesday and Thursday is really the day to get knowledge from the government. And maybe a Friday, mate. I don't know. Friday's just the day that the public just chit chat about it. I mean, I don't need to watch that all weekend now. I think it's dealt with now. Just changing the playlist. This is the original of a track called Happen. And it's actually got released in the 1990s, believe it or not. It's actually got released. I had a couple of tracks released in the 1990s. So this got released. It's called Happen. Samples Herbie Hancock. I don't know if you know it, Watermelon Man. But I just love them chords, them jazz chords that he plays there. They're just lovely. Now I can do my own music, but not quite as well as Herbie Hancock. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how well Herbie Hancock can play, but maybe I can keep up with him now. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm pretty nifty on the keyboard now. I'm probably not as fast as him. He can probably play faster notes. On the guitar, I can play fast notes, but on the keyboard, I'm not really one of them guys that can do all this stuff really fast. I don't think speed of music is very important. I don't think it's about how fast you play it. I think I just don't like. I don't like just wanking on a fucking keyboard or on a guitar just for the sake of wanking on it. You know what I mean? So I can point and wanking on a fretboard just to make the notes go fast. Oh, I'm skillful. I can change the notes fast. Yeah, but what does it sound like, mate? What does it actually sound like? Does it sound any good? Does your fretboard wanking or your keyboard wanking sound good? You know what I mean? Does it sound any good? No, it doesn't. So stop doing it. That's why I don't play solos and all that business. I mean, sometimes I play a melody. But it's not a solo. There's a difference between melody and one of those fretboard wanking or keyboard wanking solos. You know, there's a difference between a melody. But I think I'll go out for a walk in a short while. I think I probably should this afternoon. The weather's very nice out there. Maybe we'll go out after this. We'll have a cup of coffee, then a cup of tea. Then we get outside for a bit. DH, hello. I can't remember what I was going on about then, but what was going on about? Oh yeah, I was going on about fretboard wanking and keyboard wanking, and I was just going on about how I think that I don't care how skillful and how fast you can play an instrument. Does it sound good? Do you know what I mean? That's what I was trying. That's what I was going on about. I mean, fretboard wanking and keyboard wanking solos. Do they really sound good? That's what I was going on about. I mean, I'd much rather have slower notes that sound better. I don't really care how fast and how technical you are on the keyboard or on the guitar. Just whether you can play the thing and make it sound good, you know? And everyone can do that because everyone can hit one string. If you hit one string or hit one note, you can play music. All you need is one note or one. If you can play music with one drum, you can play music with one note. Trust me, you can. I mean, one of the songs I made last, I played one note all the way through on the bass line, except for the last note. The last note I went up one or two, but every other note was exactly the same note all the way through. So now you can do it. You don't need to fretboard wank or keyboard wank to make music, not at all. This is a bit quiet, isn't it? I don't know why it's so quiet. Should we skip it on? So how are you, DH? This is by Foruno. Foruno were a great group, really. I mean, there is melody, and then there's like this sort of solo business that they do. I mean, fretboard wanking. I mean. I'm gonna go out for a walk shortly anyway. I've been watching television all morning, sort of thing, but I was sleeping really. When I go and watch television, every time I watch television, what happens? I fall asleep. Television is that interesting. I just fall asleep when I'm watching television. I miss most of that coronavirus stuff. Then I realised eventually they're just going round and round in circles. And that's what they do the day after the Prime Minister does his speech. They just go round and round in circles all day on the media, asking the same questions all fucking day. Fucking morons, man. I got what the Prime Minister said last night. I got what the message was last night. And some people want to criticise what the Prime Minister's doing. What, do you really think you could do a better job than what... Do you really think it was the Prime Minister that made them decisions anyway? I doubt very much he had them two health professionals with him. The Prime Minister doesn't know anything about coronavirus. That's why he's got specialists and advisors. And those two guys that were with him yesterday, they were the ones that were putting the ideas forward, I'm sure. I mean, how would Boris Johnson know a thing about coronavirus and make policy himself? He didn't. He used the NHS guys. That's what he used. I think the British government have gone the right way around. I can't hear Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, it's not a time for opposition and for people like Jeremy Corbyn to come along and say that's wrong. I don't think Jeremy Corbyn's going to do that. And it'd be drastic if he went in the box and said and questioned it all. But I just can't see that happening. I mean. I might have fucked another keyboard up, I think.
Yo, hello, yeah. This is a song from my friend. I knew him from way back when. His name was Jimmy Jesus. He's an old drug dealer in Australia who I used to know. People used to knock on his door 24/7, and I tell you, that man should definitely go to heaven. He get rid of a pound in an hour in 20s and 50s, and that's the way it was. It was just quite nifty. He never got caught, never got nothing that was fraud. That's the way it was. But here's a little thought. Someone brought his session to an end. Now I gotta make amends. It was a deaf woman, and you wouldn't believe. She thought that just because she was deaf, she couldn't receive any weed from him, so she went to the cops. They came round and they dropped on his spot. When they dropped in his spot, they found a gram of yayo, 2 fucking bags of green, and that was it, yo. But this dude's a community figure. What do they talk about? Yo, they fuck up with the wrong nigga. You know, he sued the mayor of Bondi back in the day for racism, but they rate the fucking nah. Yo, just ride the snake like Mr. Morrison said. Go into the desert, get lost, and find yourself. Like this. I was out there one day riding a snake. A load of people come through, not open to debate. They thought I was a faker, but I ain't no faker, cause I'm coming to bring that shit straight from Jamaica. And that's the way it was till you meet your
Pretty bad,
maker.
though.
But what you gonna do? You
I
gotta
just,
trade it back. And that's
I
the
don't
way
know
it
what I
was,
did,
and how I
but
keep track.
just chucked the coffee all over the place. And I hope my keyboard's all right this time. I hope it was just a tiny drop, and so annoying. These things are so.
Jimmy jamming on the bass, that's the way it is.
I don't know how to check
That's all
my
you
keyboard.
gotta do, and just do it the way you live. Nah, I fucking can't do it, man. My head's not in the right place. I'm too scattered. Okay. I'll just tell the true life story. It's easier. Then I can feed from it.
I think my keyboard's still working, so I'm alright.
Sick of working in the 9-to-5 jive. Everyone taking me like they want to take me alive. Working from 5 in the morning to 6 in the evening. I can't do that shit. I can't
Maybe I
be
should
believing.
ban
I'm
drinks
not
in
even
here
earning any
myself.
money. So what did I do? I
Not
went
drink drinks in here
honey.
at all.
Instead of working in a boiler room, ripping off rich people for fun. And that's the way it came down. I didn't really feel bad at the time, but you know, that's just the cut of my rhyme. All I wanted to do was make 100 grand so I could go to college and extend my knowledge. But if that's what I got to do to get to the top, it's a sad fucking society we live in, and that's the flop. And I'm telling you, because they're poisoning your mind with all the fucking food that they give you all the time. You listen to the news, you ain't nothing but a fool. Go out and find that stuff
I
out
just
for
banned
yourself.
Black Lightning
Be
from coming
cool.
up here
It's not
because
even about
Black
being
Lightning
cool,
and
just be
Rasmall's want to
yourself.
come
And
up.
that's the way it is, because they
I
try to
said to
change
him on
your
the phone
lifestyle.
that he couldn't
Like
come
they
up,
say,
and he
culture is
still
not
tries to
your friend,
come
it's
up
your
here.
operating system.
I'm not having Black Lightning and
Ras
Rasmall's to go and mix with everyone. They'll mix with every single fucker out there. I'm not having them come up here. Fucking give me coronavirus. They can fuck off. While coronavirus is on, they're not coming up here. There's no Black Lightning and Rasmall show at the moment. They're not doing any work up here. Not at the moment. If someone comes up here, they're only probably up here for 1 minute. Then they're off. I'm not having people up here for a long time. Coronavirus is more effective over 15 minutes. So, always try and keep my distance from everyone. I don't want to catch
And
coronavirus.
you're the only one who knows the problem with choice and
They
causality.
do socialise with absolutely everyone.
And that's
So,
just the way that life rolls. And some people get the option, but they don't take the goal. They say if you can't beat them, join them, but I don't think so. Because the path of the righteous is always on the flow. No.
Rastafari, I. Yeah, man, I don't know, so if I burn them ears, how none of them ears said thing, you know what thing go. No matter where the character come, me, I'm tell them, say, no, no. Hey, no, re, no, tay, no, re, no, tay, no, re, no, tay, no, re, no, tay, no, bada come tell me.
I can isolate myself for over a year. I've done it before. I've isolated myself for a year before. I can do it again. I'm not bothered. I don't need people. I actually hate being with people. The only time the reason why I spend time with people is trying to get used to them, but I never can. I mean, there's so much ego in the normal person. Like even Black Lightning's got so much ego. I can't bear it. Even the guy that was here this morning, ego. I can't have him on the mic. I can't have him do a show. I'll say no. I'm just trying to tell him I'm too busy all the time because I can't have people talking shit on my show. This show is for like James O'Brien. You can't, you know, James O'Brien. You can't replace him with Philip Schofield. What would Philip Schofield? That's what I'm saying. I can't have a bullshitter or ego talk on here. I just can't.
Oh, the most I me say him we obey. The most I me tell you him a lead the way.
I can't have people with false belief systems talking on here.
Rastaman go Joe, because me clear the way. Enough of them that want to see we vanish away. Enough of them that want to see we sink away. And yes,
I mean, I've been watching all about coronavirus all day yesterday. I had every single fact about it, but the guy still wanted to argue with me. So you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to. I told him, I said, I was watching it all day yesterday, and he still wanted to argue with me. So if you're going to argue with me about facts, well, you're not going to get on my station.
Give a fuck about that anyway. They tell them say that the bingy man and go stray. The righteousness is what we obey. No red, no dead, no he said, no she said, no rare, no dead. You what? Righteousness just a man they are so honor embrace. Enough of them no like we see we face. We come round here so me and tell you say you're positive vibes. That's not why they are ready to them eyes. A full time certain things them realize. Instead of them come round here under this guy. And them not speak no truth and tell pure lies. And up at them mouth then and them jacket untied. When we check it out we find out them as Satan's five and the rare, no day, no he say, no she say, no rare, no day, no he say, and him say, no tell me about nobody coming, no give a fuck anyway, and a rare, no day, you know hear where me say, no rare, no day, Rasta man burn them skins in the anyway, a righteousness that's Rasta obey. We pray for the most I get the obstacle out of my way. And say honorable, me say go on DJ, and honorary, no tay, me there on the east side studio. Me say all day the ice grill me and Johnny Rankin, they are so blessed. And every day me tell you we turn a new page. We know what them just how we go on them fresh and tell them set them to clean the obstacle out of the way. So we don't no rare, no tay, no rare, no tay. Where he say, nor she say, no rare, no Rasta man don't care about that anyway. No rare, no tay, no ear where me say, the fire blazing, no Rasta ready to spray. I'm on the body, my me say out of the way and tell them say your righteousness, Rasta man, no pain and no rare. No ray, out of fire, Rastafari.
I'm gonna go for a walk and get something to eat soon.
message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. Simple, that is a classic life. 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 Simple, that is the key to 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 life. The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. Simple, that is the key to life. Simple, that is the key to life. Simple, that is the key to life. The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. Simple, that is the key to life. 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 The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. Simple, that is the key to life. 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 The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. The message can only be passed out one to one, effectively. Simple, that is the key to life.
Yes, man, it's about Bigfoots. But actually, it's DJ Validate, I mean.
Come on with a piece, all lion. You little dibby dead, that jump and son boy, who has grown yourself king and spreading rumors and the champion sound.
It's an authentic 93 type jungle sound. It's a very authentic 93 jungle sound. It's very good. It's very much like what we were listening to in 1993. Very authentic.
Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin may come back again.
This is proper jungle. This is how jungle can sound. With Jamaican on top. That's the sound. Check that out. Look at it. You hear that drop?
Ragamuffin may come back again. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin may come back again. You see me, mama, they want a long time. Nothing me, mama, hit them and them mind for me, mama. They want a long time. Nothing me, mama, hit them and them mind and just shoot out. Me and them buck up. But tell the whole of them, me, I go mash them up and just shoot out. Me and them buck up. But tell the whole of them, me, I go pack them up. So when me hold the microphone, me get a cantankerous. Go tell the whole of them, me just get famous. Me hold the microphone, me sweet and delicious. Galang Ragamuffin say you well dangerous. You see the stopper, but they want a long time. Nothing me stop by them and them. I know see the stopper. They want a long time. Nothing me stop by them and them. My original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Come and tell the whole of them me a go give them problem. Galang cut the rag and go mash it up again. Me ram up a dog down a Jerusalem. Me come back and me come to mash it up again. The road me a branch, me a leaf, me a stem. When I make no enemy, Lord, me want be a friend. And when you check it out, for me friendship your hand. I no make no borrow me deny them. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Say Godfather, he say you right, cause you a Godfather. Me go put the rank, take away the typewriter. Bring it, go get so back and Lord me brother. Help him yard it, carry across the border. Listen, cut the rank up on the microphone center. Anyway, me call on the roots and culture. Ram up every creepy star, I manage the danger. Follow me no massive rank, original rank come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. You see me, mama, they want a long time. Nothing me, mama, hit them and them mind for me, mama. They want a long time. Nothing me, mama, hit them and them mind and just shoot out. Me and them buck up. Go tell the whole of them me I go mash them up and just shoot out. Me and them buck up. Go tell the whole of them me I go pack them up. So when me hold the microphone, they get a cantankerous. Go tell the whole of them me just get famous. Me hold the microphone, me sweet and delicious. Galang Ragamuffin say you well dangerous. You see the stopper, they want a long time. Nothing me stop by them and them. I know see the stopper, they want a long time. Nothing me stop by them and them. My original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Come and tell the whole of them me a go give them problem. Galang cut the rag and go mash it up again. Me ram up a dog down a Jerusalem. Me me
I want
come
to
back
possibly
again.
something to eat now.
Original
Well,
rhymes come to boom
I've got
it
my
up.
cup of tea here.
Ragamuffin me come back
I might go
again.
and buy something to eat now.
Original rhymes
Check the
come
temperature
to boom it
outside.
up.
Think I'll
Ragamuffin
go
me
for a
come
walk.
back again.
Right, back in a
Original
minute.
rhymes come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Come here to tell the whole of them me a go give them problem. So long cut it and go and go mash it up again. Me ram up a dance down at Jerusalem. Me come back again, me come fi mash it up again. The root me a branch, me a leaf, me a stem. Me no make no enemy, Lord, me want be a friend. And when you check it out for me friendship gahen, I no beg no borrow, me say neither lend. You see me come up, they want a long time. I feel me by my head, step on them mind. You see this copper, they want a long time. No feel me stop my head, step on them mind. Me press the trigger and me blow them mind. Oh listen, got it wrong, me a one of a kind. Me press the trigger and me blow them mind. But tell them my lyrics is newly designed. Just shoot out, when me and them buck up. But tell the whole of them me a go pack them up and just shoot out, when me and them buck up. But tell the whole of them me a go mash them up and just shoot out, when me and them buck up. But tell the whole of them Lord me dangerous. Original ranks come to boom it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Original ranks come to shut it up. Ragamuffin me come back again. Say Godfather easy you right, cause you a Godfather. Me go but you know we wrong. Take away the type right. Bring it fucking over. Your thought me friend.
I just managed to get some toilet roll. It was very low of stock. So I got 2 packets. I think that'll last. 2 packets will be alright. I wanted to get something from Wenzel's, but they didn't have it ready. So I'll go back in a minute and see if they've got it ready. It should be nice and warm, it'll be freshly cooked. That's all I'm doing. Jeremy Corbyn, I'm using kitchen roll. Comes. Well, I don't know where you live, Jeremy Corbyn, but there is some toilet paper in Pound Ring in South Harrow. There is still some there. I don't know. They put the price up for some reason. He said the price is going to come back down, but just because of this, we're being charged more money. Just because of coronavirus, we're being charged 20p more. The price has got up 20p on the toilet roll. Why is that? That's not really very fair, is it? I was supposed to pay 20p more on 4 toilet rolls. I'm using kitchen. I've done that before when I ran out of toilet paper. I mean, I've done that enough times. But I don't know where you live, Jeremy Corbyn, but South Harrow, Pound Ring have still got toilet paper. Not a lot, but West Sussex is dry. And did you hear about that book, Story of Darkness? No, I never heard of that. Never heard of that. I don't know much really, Jeremy Corbyn, to be honest. When it comes to books and films, and I'm quite ignorant really when it comes to these things. Is it a new book or something? Oh. I've got to be honest, people in South Harrow don't really panic too much. And I think that's why the toilet paper is still available. It was written in 1981, and basically they predicted all of this coronavirus shit. Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose you could say that, Jeremy. Some people would even say that the Bible is the end times, and some people would say that. So, is it in the book that it was made in a lab in Wuhan, China? Really? Interesting. Well, some people say that, but I don't know. I've got no evidence, and without evidence, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they would really breed virus, because the only way to get a new virus is to breed two different types of virus together. So I don't see how they would do that. But it's a bit like making a goat and a lamb have sex. I mean, a goat and a sheep. I mean, you know, that's what it's like in the virus. To create a new virus, you need two different viruses to come together. So I don't quite see how they would do that. But I mean, I don't know how they control the mating of virus. I don't know how they can do that. But that's why what I predict is that one day there'll be a virus that will eat all virus, and then there'll be no more virus. That's my prediction in the future. An alternative to a nuclear weapon. Yeah, but they're going to kill absolutely everyone off. I mean, what's the point in that? What sort of sick bastards, and what sort of... I mean, that's a serious organisation. That runs from the government, and you know, there's a whole organisation behind that. And if they really did want to wipe us out, then I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem. I would have thought that humanity had a more of a loving nature than. I don't know. Johnny, I need to shoot, mate. Yeah, all right, man. That's all right, Jeremy. Take care, man. I'm sure you got to shoot. You got enough to do. I mean, fucking hell, I'm surprised you even get on here, really. Well done. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Bye. I still can't believe that's the real Jeremy Corbyn. It must be that. I mean, he seems to, I don't know, he's got a lot of knowledge, but I find it bizarre because, I don't know, I just find it funny. I mean, he's actually quite well written at the moment. He's writing quite well at the moment. He explained all them points I understood quite clearly, so that's very good. I don't always understand everything he says, but I understood everything he said there, so that's very good. I think I might go and see if Wenzel's got my pizza ready yet. Right, the weather's lovely out there, so I'm definitely going to get out there for a bit. I don't think I want to go very far. I think I'm just going to go out the front, hang on the street like a mean bad man, looking like a bad man on the street. Because I haven't made much business today, and I can't go too far, because if I go far, If someone calls me, I might miss them. So I can't go far. I'll just hang around out the front. I'll do it for about an hour or so. See, what I realise is that fitness is not always about doing exercise. Fitness is about being able to stand, being able to sit on the floor, I mean, like a yoga position. So if I go and stand outside the front for a bit, that's still exercise. It's not aerobic exercise, but it's a posture exercise. It's a if you can stand all day, that's really good. I mean, that's what you should be able to do. I really don't mind if Boris Johnson ever wants to come on it. I think he's been on here once already, but him and Priti Patel. One night there was him and Priti Patel was on here, but Gareth Thomas got pissed off or something, and Boris Johnson said, "Oh, I'll leave the room." But I mean, it's a shame that politicians don't even get on. But I mean, I don't know if this is really the place to ask for political advice anyway, but I've always said to Gareth Thomas, he can ask me my advice on any subject, but the government never asked me my advice, so I don't know if that's why they make mistakes, but they've got some good experts anyway. And with coronavirus, I would never have been able to come up with the solutions for that. I mean, that has to be people in the NHS, and that's why I can't blame Boris Johnson for yesterday. He was not up there on his own. He had an NHS guy to the right and an NHS guy to the left. They were the ones that were doing all the answering, and they're the ones that made up the whole plan. And it wasn't Boris Johnson. I mean, Boris Johnson might have agreed it or something and said, yeah, okay. But they're the ones that put all the ideas forward, and then they had to do risk assessments on each one. And I know they were doing risk assessments because that's what I told them to do in the morning. In the morning, I said, we've got to do risk assessments and we've got to eliminate what you know. And I think they know what they're doing. I do think it doesn't really matter anyway. If we all die off, so fucking what anyway. We're not all going to die off anyway. A lot of people recover from this anyway. The majority of people do, so it's not anything to worry about. And some people just stay at home 7 days with a fever and a cough, and after about the 5th day, the fever and the cough goes away, and 7 days later, you're cured anyway. And then you've got an antibody in you as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, there is a survival of the fittest, and maybe, I know it sounds hard to believe, but for some people, but maybe even God's behind this. I mean, God created everything, and I don't know if he creates who breeds with what, but I mean, God made a creation that was able to do this. It could be God clearing out people that are no good. How do I know anyway? Maybe it's Maybe it's God saying that old people are old, you should let them die and you should stop trying to prolong their life. And maybe God doesn't want old people. I don't want old people. I don't want to be old. I'm not saying I want to kill people, but I don't want to get old, and certainly not. I'm not looking forward to old age at all. Not at all. That's why I try and keep as fit as possible, because when I get into old age, I want to be fit and flexible. I don't want to be retarded, old and decaying. And I might have to put more energy into my exercise as I get older. I might have to do more and more. But it's about being active. That's what fitness is about. Fitness is about being active, and if you're active, then you're fit. But if you're not, if you're inactive, if you don't move, if you don't get up easily, if you're a couch potato, you're unfit. So there's a lot of couch potatoes are gonna probably find it quite easy to do this isolation, really. There will be a whole heap of people that just sit at home every day anyway. So it's actually getting quite warm in here. I'm going out in a minute. Where else go out now? I'm finishing off outside. I'll be coughing out now. I don't like coughing outside. I'll finish this first and then I'll get outside for a bit. I won't go far, I'll just go out the front. It's a lovely day, you can just stand out there in this weather. And while you're out there, you pace around a bit. And when you're pacing around a bit, you're doing a bit of exercise. And that's what I say to people, start off with sitting yoga. That's the first exercise you start with. Once you've done that, then practice standing. Once you practice standing, then go walking. You can't go walking until you can stand. And I used to stand outside the front all day. I used to just go out there as much as possible. I'd only come in to roll up and I'd go back out there again. And in the alley, there used to be loads of people. It was a great community that the police and the local residents destroyed. Some local residents complained and Why did they complain? Why can't they mind their own business? I mean, why can't they just fucking mind their own business? Why do they have to complain? What difference did it make to them? We weren't hurting them. We weren't harming them. We were just hanging about. And I had loads of friends down there. Every day I could go down there, meet someone whenever I wanted to. And that's all gone now. That's all ended. So now I go down there and I'm on my own. But I bump into people sometimes, but it's not the same. There used to be like a proper social club down there. There was Tamils, there was Somalians, there was Jamaicans. There was people from all around the world, and it was amazing. It's all gone now, though. The Tamils were the main ones that hang around down there. That's why they call it Tamil Alley. There was always Tamils out there. There always was. And before they changed the law about drinking on the streets, there was always Tamils drinking there all the time. And I didn't have a problem with that. I don't see why we had to change the law. I know that the ambulance was down there nearly every day because someone would get cut up and it'd be a fight. But I mean, maybe that's better then. But they could have just banned the drink. I mean, people still drink down there now anyway. I mean, it's just not the same anymore. It's just not a club anymore. It's not social. Now if someone's drinking there, you can't really approach them, really. I mean, they'll have an attitude back at you or something. It's not the same. It's not friendly. It's not the way it used to be. We used to have a proper community down there. Something's happened to my phone. I don't know what's happened. But I did text it myself and the text doesn't come through. So I don't know what's happened. And I think the network's gone down or something. But I can't call on it though. It's just a text message. I think. And someone said they tried calling me and they couldn't get through.
your soul and let it shine. Feel 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 your soul and let it shine.
Right, we don't want to go outside, but we've got to force ourselves. Because if we don't force ourselves, we're becoming an old man. So we have to force ourselves to get outside now. We love being inside so much. It's easy for us to isolate ourselves. If they said to me, don't go out for a week, it's easy. But if I don't go out for a week, I'll deteriorate because I need to get out for my exercise. But I mean, it's easy for me to stay inside. Absolutely easy. I've done hospital before. I've done it where I've had to stay inside for a whole year. I had to stay inside. So it's easy for me. I mean, and that's why I can't do my housework. If people can't understand that, you can't understand that I got locked up inside, did no housework or no cooking or nothing for a whole year. And then had to come out and just go straight back into a routine. If you can't understand that, I can't do that. I've done it before. I mean, there's enough times I've done it before. But this time I couldn't do it. I'm too old. I can't do it. They fucked me up and then they don't do anything about it. They fucked me up. They didn't give me the right treatment. They didn't support me when I came out of hospital. My mum and dad didn't. My brothers and sisters didn't. My friends didn't. So do I really have any friends or family? Not really, no. That's why I know, like, no one really gives a shit about me at all. No one really does, because if they did, I wouldn't be in this mess that I'm in. But no one really cares, no. I think I might ban Black Lightning and Ras Smalls until I get my kitchen sorted out, because I might say to them, I can't have you up here until my kitchen is sorted out, and see if they sort it out for me. Ras Smalls even used to run a takeaway, so he knows how to cook. I used to buy food from him from his takeaway, so I mean, I think that's the next step. I was going to ban them until the kitchen's taken care of. I asked Junior weeks ago to board my windows up. He still hasn't done it. He said he was going to do it on Saturday about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he's just not a man of his word. He's just not. Alright, I'm going out the front for a bit. It's now 3:30. I'll try and stay out there till 4:30 at least.
That is the key to life. Simple. That is the key to life. Simple. That is the key to life. Simple. That is the key to life. The message can only be passed down one to one effectively. Simple, that is the key to life. 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 The message can only be passed out one to one effectively. The message can only be passed out one to one effectively. Simple. That is the key to life.
I think I'm to write my version of history. I'll just say it's 4 empirical forces, 2 opposing, depending on what shape your country is. Depends which borders you have to block. And that's it, man. That's all it is. To write my version of history, I'll just say it's 4 empirical forces, 2 opposing, depending on what shape your country is. Depends which borders you have to block. And that's it, man. That's all it is. Got like your own music, your own documentary. Got like your own music, your own documentaries. We had to study the word barbarian. 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 I think I'm have to write my version of history. I'll just say it's 4 empirical forces. I think I'm have to write my version of history. I'll just say it's 4 empirical forces. I think I'm have to write my version of history. I'll just say it's 4 empirical forces. I still reckon there's no enemy though. I still reckon there's no enemy. I'm convinced there's no enemy. It's Hollywood films and everything as well. It's just pyramids of forces. It's just border control, border conflict. One man against another, creating a whole network of men against another. If we can just dissolve our own disputes, then peace is spread. You can only create peace in your own life. You can't be responsible for anyone else's. I mean...
Right, it is good to get out of a walk, because when I first get out there, I feel a bit flip-floppity. I don't know if you know what I mean about flip-floppity, but with old age, you can feel that old age, and some people might just give up. Just think, oh, I'm getting too old, and just go and rest. That's what a lot of stupid people do. I can see the way people walk and the way they stand, whether they do exercise or not. I can tell how fit and if you're active or not. So to me, it's just so obvious, and I can't believe that people let themselves get into the state that they do. You've got to get out there and you've got to move around. You've got to jump around. You have to jump around. I mean, if you can't jump around, you're not fit. I mean, I didn't jump around today. I'm warming up as the sun comes in. I mean, how long was I out there? I was out there about 45 minutes. Someone's on their way now, so that's why I came back. Otherwise, I would stay out there longer. Oh, I'm waiting for someone now. I remember enjoying this track. It's a bit quiet, but I think it's part chopped out from a meditation mix, laid over the beat. If I remember rightly. It's a bit repetitive, but some grooves you can listen to repeating. Some grooves you can. Depends how catchy it is. Alright, let's check our messages. It looks like our phone's working again. Alright, my phone's working again. That's brilliant. Oh, I better check out the window. I can't see him. I have to wait for Scarface to call me. I've got some emails that I haven't done all week and I just can't be bothered. I don't know, I mean, maybe it's because this is not in a very good office position. I need another computer, I think, to get in office position so that I can do office work off this computer. So it's not comfortable to do office work, I mean. I just found a shop that does pizza slices in the market for £1.50. I saw these schoolboys eating these pizzas and I thought, where the fuck did they get them from? They just started eating them. They're hot and in a little box. They look all right. So I thought, fuck it, I went up to her. I said, excuse me, where's you getting pizzas from? I said, in the market. I thought, fucking hell. So I wandered around the market and eventually I found the shop, but the shop is not really very well advertised as a pizza market shop. I mean, I must have walked past it a dozen times and never knew that it sold pizzas. So it's a bit weird. I mean, you would think they'd have a big pizza design or something on the window or something. But it's funny, you know, school kids are quick at working out where cheap food is that's good quality. School kids are good at that. I mean, so I found somewhere anyway. So tomorrow I'm going to try that, and I hope it's open 7 days a week as well. I've been eating pizza from Wenzel's anyway, and Wenzel's only has one pizza that I can eat. So if I go to a proper pizza shop, I can get a slice of pizza, and when I finish that slice, if I want to get one later, I can get one. £1.50 a go. I mean, I could eat 3 pizza slices for the price of one pizza baguette in Wenzel's. So, you know what I mean? Hey, Johnny, how are you, man? Mate, I'm really good, thanks. Johnny, did you blaze since it's 4:20 p.m? Not yet. I'm just doing it now. I've had one. I think I've had 2 spliffs today, and this is my 3rd one. Johnny, did you blaze since it's 4:20? I don't know what you mean. Johnny, did you blaze since it's 4:20? It's only 4:20 now, isn't it? So I don't know what you mean. Do you think world peace will be achievable within our lifetimes? Well, we're heading towards it, to be honest with you. I can tell that we are, because as soon as you stop Babylon from arming rebels, then you start heading towards peace, and that's what we've done. We stopped Babylon from arming rebels, and that's the first step, really. And I don't understand about Israel and Palestine so much, but I mean, there's something going on there, but I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's a lack of education on both sides, really. Because if you've got an education, then you're not bothered about moving a boundary or any of that stuff. I mean, the boundary you inherit, according to King Solomon, you should keep. You should never move your boundary. But I'm not saying that the Palestinians did move their boundary in 1948 or whenever it was. It was the British that done it. But I mean, whatever boundary you got, you just have to accept it, really. If you're born into a boundary, like if you inherit land, you should not move your boundary. It says this in King Solomon's Proverbs. It says that if you inherit land, do not extend your boundary, or, leave your boundary the same. If every single king and every single person left their boundary the same, then there'd be no problems. This Israel-Palestine situation, that's the only one that I don't really understand fully. Well, I do understand how it started, but I don't understand how to end it. I mean, I don't know why we had to give the Jews a whole load of land at the end of World War II. I don't understand why we had to do that. And that was Palestine up until that point. That really was Palestine. So I don't understand why the Israelis are so nasty towards Palestinians, really. I mean, the Israelis apparently during World War II were tortured to death and stuff. So I don't see if they are inflicting pain on the Palestinians, and this is true. I don't know if it is or not, because I'm just seeing propaganda from the Palestinians. But I mean, if the Israelis really are aggressing, then that's not really right. I mean, well, we defended you in World War II and gave you your own land, and you can't respect Palestinians. There's something wrong with you. I think one of the major problems is having all the facts. I never know who to trust regarding historical facts. Yeah, that is true. But one thing I would say is that, I mean, we know that Hitler, if you weren't blonde or blue-eyed, then you got put in a concentration camp. That's what we know about. You had to be blonde and blue-eyed. So it wasn't just the Jews, it was blacks, it was Asians, it was all sorts of people that went in there. But for some reason, when World War II ended, the Jews got their own land in Israel, and the British were the ones that carved the land up, because at the time that was our empire at the time. So we're the ones that said that, right, we're giving this land to the Israelis or to the Jews, and that's what caused all the problems. And the Palestinians are still fighting to this day because they won't accept it. And so I don't know if the Palestinians are the aggressors or if the Israelis are, or if they're both aggressors or what. But what I would say is if we all sort our own minds out, if we all sorted our minds out, then I think people would just leave all these issues aside. I mean, we've all been treated unfairly once or twice in our life before. Do we let that unfair treatment stop us from having fun now? You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's right what happened to the Palestinians or whatever, but all I'm trying to say is that just because that happened wrong, does it stop you from having fun, or does it stop you? You know, I mean, we're all free to feel good. I mean, we really are. I mean, regardless of whether your land was taken off you so many years ago and now you only got a little bit. But I know what you mean, though, trusting regarding historical facts. The only reason why we know this historical fact is quite true is because it was done so recently. I mean, some historical facts in the past, I agree with you, is very difficult. But really, I mean, there are things should be detailed. There should be accounts. You know, I mean, well, if you do look into history, there is some knowledge there anyway. I mean, like for example, Francis Bacon, he was a MP and he was also a philosopher as well. So, like, if you look at the work of Aristotle or Plato, or you can look at their work and you can see that they have left records, and that is part of history as well. I mean, whatever happened in the past is part of history, isn't it? Really. So, I mean, studying the works of the philosophers is a bit like studying history as well, in a way. And you can see that there is knowledge recorded from the history that there really is. I mean, so I know what you mean though about who to trust, because the books do lie a bit. Like they say that the first canal was in Egypt 4,000 years ago. How do they know it's 4,000 years ago? How do they know that was the first canal? You know, I mean, that's the first canal that they discovered, obviously, and they don't really know what happened before the Greeks anyway. The Greeks is the only distance they can go back. So any date in the encyclopedia before the Greeks is just made up, and it is just made up. And that's why I say to you, you're right on what you're saying. I never know who to trust. You're bang on. You're bang on. It is very difficult to know, and that's why you have to read different books about the same subject and try and work it out. What is the truth and what is not really. I do have more of a problem with this regarding politics more than history. I don't believe in general any political argument is more valid or true than another. Yeah, I sort of agree with you as well on many of their issues that they have. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're both wrong a lot of the time, really. I mean, I know we had the budget yesterday, and they've gone and fucked us up on the cigarette prices again. So now I've got to pay over 60. So now I'm even poorer again. You see, they just make us poorer and poorer every year. That's all that they do, and that's what they've gone and done with the budget. Now they've gone and made us even poorer. I was had to pay 20 pence extra on my toilet paper. Why is that? The inflation rate is 0.25%. 0.25%. So why am I paying 20 pence more on a pound? That's a 20% increase. That's not 0.25%. 0.25% would have been £1 and 20 and £1 to 2.5 pence, which you can't even charge anyway. So £1 2 pence or £1 3 pence. I mean, for example, person will say the X, Y, and Z will be good for the country, and B will say the X, Y, and Z will be bad for the country. Who are you meant to trust? Well, to do with your own experience, really. I mean, if you have your own experience in the workplace and you have your own experience in society, I don't know how old you are, Moon Garface, but I mean, that's what I used to find when I was younger. I maybe didn't know what was going on, and I didn't really understand war. And there was many things that I didn't understand, and as I got older, I could weigh up what was more right and what was more wrong and stuff. But I know exactly what you mean, because there is always controversy in politics. There's not always, though. I mean, sometimes things do go through Parliament and they just all agree on it. And like war, for example, sometimes they all agree on it. You know what I mean? So I just think nearly everything the politicians do is wrong for the people anyway. I mean, it just is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what we're doing with coronavirus, I think what the doctor said yesterday was quite right for the moment. Because I do believe that if they said to lock down now, like they're saying, and then no one will be able to last it out until the time that it peaks. And so I see what they're saying. And they want to put a lockdown when the peak comes, which is probably the right idea. I mean, do you value beauty or utility more? I don't know what you mean by beauty or do you value beauty of utility more? I don't quite know what you mean there. I'm really sorry. Beauty of utility. A bit confused there, sorry. Or I meant beauty or utility. Oh, right. Well, I don't know what you mean, because I find everything beautiful anyway. You know, even dirt or mold or whatever, I find it all beautiful. So, or utility. Is that to utilize something? Then, I mean, I don't. So, do I value beauty or I value them both. I don't know. I mean, there's not beauty. Just doesn't have. I mean, the value of beauty is not really a great value, because you can't really. I suppose it is utility, really, because there is no value on beauty, really. I suppose in artwork there is, though. So maybe there is a value in beauty and artwork, but or utility. Well, something that can facilitate mankind has got to be something better than something that just looks beautiful. That's what I would say. Something that facilitates mankind. I don't know if that's what you mean by utility, but something that can facilitate mankind to achieve something, or it's probably going to be better than something that's just beautiful, even if it is artwork that's ours to do, I suppose. I do this track a lot, by the way. This is a really shitty track, really. It was made years ago. It's a bit bollocks, really. I could put on some much better music for you than this. This is Y80 Mellow. It's all right. It's not very good. It's all right. Is any of your work inspired by Aphex Twin? Not really, no. I always thought Aphex Twin didn't really know how to produce, to be honest with you. That's why I thought Aphex Twin, when he made his drum and bass sound, he didn't really know what he was doing. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, and when it comes to production, I know a little bit more about than Aphex Twin. Aphex Twin doesn't really know how to produce properly. That's why he makes that sound that he does. I mean, he's trying to copy people like Reinforced and all them lot, but he can't do it. That's why they got their own sound, and which is fair enough. They got their own sound, but Aphex Twin sort of takes the piss out of us and that. And like with that hip hop video that he did where he had his limousine, what is he playing at? I mean, he's just trying to take the piss out of hip hop styles. He's always doing it. I sent a demo once to his label, and I don't know what the fuck they done with it, man. I DJ'd for his crew once. I can't remember the name of the guy, but there was 3 of them on Reflex Records, and one of the guys from Reflex Records was putting a night on, and I DJ'd for him once because my mate went to school with Aphex Twin, I think, or with the guy that was on Reflex Records, something like that. Anyway, my mate went to school with him in Cornwall. They're from Cornwall, them lot. They're not from London. That's why they can't create a London sound. They'll never create a London sound. I mean, I don't. Aphex Twin's all right. I have got a record of his, but I don't think he's that great, really. I'd much rather listen to Reinforced Records, who are a genuine proper dance act that make proper hit records. Aphex Twin, Window Licker, I don't know. I mean, it's not that impressive, really. Got in the charts, but it might be easier for Aphex Twin to get in the charts. Just, well, it is easier to get in the charts if you're white. I mean, it just is. If you've got less talent, it's easier to get in the charts if you're white. I know it might sound racist, but you look at the singers that get in the charts that are white. Their talent is not as good, but they can get in the charts. A lot of them can't sing very well, but they still get in the charts, you know. Whereas if you're black, you've got to be really talented to get in the charts. You've got to be really skillful. That's what I've noticed anyway. See, if you're black and you get in the charts, they've got no choice. They can't turn you down because you made it. You made it in the charts if you're black. But if you're white, then you get a lift up. You get a lift up. That's the way it is. I think that's the way it works. Because when I see these singers that are white that come in the charts, I'm shocked every time. That person got in the charts with that voice. Shocked every time. You're not wrong about the race thing. The only exception is probably being black in the hip hop and rap community. That's what I mean. But these guys that's what I'm saying. But people like Public Enemy, they became so popular, or Bob Marley, they became so popular because they were so good and because they played to so many people. That's why the charts had no choice. They had no choice. The black people just made it, you know. They didn't get a leg up. They didn't get help. They just made it. If I make it myself, it's because I made it. No one gave me a leg up. I don't know if you know what I mean. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say here. But there are some people that are signed to a label, like some of these singers. I can't think of a name, but the only name that rings the bell is Alanis Morissette. But it's not really Alanis Morissette. She was quite good, but who else is there? There's some more modern singers. I don't know, but I'll tell you, you'll totally understand, right? Yeah. They sort of get on a label, and then, but they might not get paid that much money. You might find that the real rappers that really make it might make more money than these white singers that can't sing as good. I mean, Justin Bieber, again, I mean, he can sing, but I wouldn't say that his voice was amazing. I wouldn't say that he had the best voice in the world, you know, but he still gets in the charts. I mean, he must be on a label that is utilizing him, I suppose. I mean, but why? I don't know why they chose him. I don't know why they couldn't choose someone. I mean, out of white singers, I'm sure that there's better white singers than that. I mean, my mate Simon Malahan's a good MC. If he started singing, he'd have a very good voice. So I'm sure that there's white singers out there that can sing very good. You know, I'm absolutely certain of this. I mean, my friend Karen Shannon, she's Irish and she's got a lovely voice. So I'm not knocking white people at all. I'm not saying that white people can't sing. I'm just saying that in the charts, for some reason, they seem to get these people that, I don't know, it's just something about it. They don't seem to have, maybe it's just my taste. I don't know. Some people might love what's there. I mean, I know that my niece likes, I can't remember her name now. But when I listen to her music, I think, well, why do you like her so much? I mean, it's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson really wasn't a great singer. Michael Jackson really wasn't. Oh, by the person's image, right. It's like Michael Jackson, though. I mean, the way you make me feel, you make me feel, turns me on. When you look at that melody, the melody is so basic. Michael Jackson's songs are so fucking easy to sing. So fucking easy. Do you have an early night last night, mate? Yeah, I did, yeah. I went to bed about 10 o'clock, I think. I did, yeah. I'll probably do it again tonight. I'm not really sure, but I've been sleeping quite a lot today. At the moment, I've been sleeping. It's like things like One Directions. I'm not really sure about them. Sorry, I'm not. I can't keep up to date with names and stuff. They can obviously all sing. Oh, right, can they? All right. But like in the 1980s, we had a guy called Bobby McFerrin, and he did this song that went, "Be happy, don't worry, be happy." Now he could really sing, but he only had one song that came in the hits as a hit record. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he made it, but it's all about chasing money in the end. Yeah, I suppose that's what it was. They must have saw that they could make money out of his record, and that's why he made it. But he never made it again. But he had a really good voice. But one of the best songs that ever came out was "What a Wonderful World." Louis Armstrong. I love that. You know, that was in the 1960s. I'm going on about. I don't know if you know that, Louis Armstrong. What a wonderful world. I see. I don't know the words. You see, I don't know the words, but that is just to me. That's probably my favourite song. You're familiar with Louis Armstrong? Great. So if you know, I don't know if you know that song. I was just humming, but that is it's probably my most favourite song of all time. I mean, yeah, his voice was quite special. Yeah. Again, though, that's a character that sort of made it, and I don't think they had a choice. I think that he was just going to make it, you know, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, that song is amazing. That song is amazing, isn't it? See, I'll never do anything as special as that. I mean, that is a hit record that will be around forever. That song will always be there. I mean, even if they lose the recording, it'll be like a hymn. Like you know the hymns in church, they're all written down and recorded and stuff, and his song will always be remembered. I think that song is eternal, and that's eternal life. I'd say that Louis Armstrong has achieved eternal life or immortality, because you can only achieve it in name. I mean, Haile Selassie and Marcus Garvey might have done it as well. I mean, who's to say? We don't know what we'll be reading in a million years' time, but that's the only way that you can get immortal by name, is by having your work live on. And I do believe that Louis Armstrong song will live on and outlive everyone, you know. I mean, when humans finally become extinct, then it will come to an end. But I feel like 95% of the music industry is mostly what you described, just getting them marketable people on top, and the other 5% get there on pure talent. Yeah, that's probably how it goes. Yeah. But people like me and reinforced in that, we're not bothered about the pop charts. We're not bothered about it at all, because I mean, most of our records don't even appear in if I sell a record, the charts don't even know about it anyway. So I have no idea how Madonna is still a performer that sells. Yeah, that's another point, because Madonna, she cannot sing anymore. Right? I mean, Madonna in the old days, she did do Holiday, and Holiday was a great hit. That's what made her. And I can tell you a little story about Holiday. I'm sure that Holiday was when she done her first line of cocaine, and that's why she done that song Holiday so well. And I'm sure I've listened to the album. I can tell that she did a line of cocaine off of that. And Holiday was a really good song, and I've got that album, the Madonna first album. I've got that, and on the last song, she does sniff cocaine on it anyway. She goes all the way through it, and she's always sniffing all the way through on the last song. So she got into cocaine in the 1980s, and the producer obviously got her onto it to get her to sing Holiday. And Holiday it is a classic song. Again, that is another great classic song. I mean, Madonna did make that. That is the only great classic song Madonna's ever done, really, that's going to stand out and that all DJs going to play for years to come. I'm going to check out the song now. All right, yeah, it's called Madonna Holiday. Just check it out. It's a classic song from the 1980s. I'll leave you to check it out if you want. But that's what made her. She hasn't. I mean, I don't know. She's just lucky. In the meantime, what would you say are your top 5 artists of all time? I don't really have top 5 artists, to be honest. There's a lot of guys that I think that once you can play, and that's how I see it. And the Wailers could play, Garnet Silk could play, and there's many guys out there that can play. I mean, Jimi Hendrix could play, Carol Shannon can play. So how can I rate one above the other? I mean, for all these guys I could play with and we could make amazing music, then I can't really make a top 5, I'm afraid. There's just too many people out there that can play really well, and if you can play, you can play. And it's just that when you play, I mean, sometimes you get a bit of luck and the song can cross over, but I don't know really. So much music out there, I couldn't tell you. Sorry. I think Bob Marley achieved the most for the Rastafarians. That's one thing that I would say. And he's probably the most popular reggae artist, and maybe even one of the most popular artists of all time. Because purely he toured the whole world, and he went round and toured. That's why he even got shot and stuff, because he put himself out there. He really did, and that's why everyone knows about him. But I don't know if I'd say he was my best artist of all time, though. What would you say are your favourite genres of music then? I don't really have genres. I don't like the idea of having the word genre or categorising music. I prefer to just call it all music, really. What I make is music, and I don't like to categorise it. If other people want to, they can. I don't mind. I'm not a control freak, but if you want to have genres, you can. But I mean, if we are going to use the genre that they label, sort of genres I like hip hop, drum and bass. House music's alright sometimes, but garage music's alright sometimes. I don't like rock music, but I don't like music played on musical instruments. I don't like real music. I love real music, but I don't like rock music, which is just repeating the same old chords again and again. I don't like Oasis. I don't think they were a great band at all. I don't think they did anything original at all. I don't know why people rate them so highly. You're fucking dumb then, because in the 1960s, the music was much better. Those guys are not talented at all. I didn't mind the Stone Roses, Fool's Gold. That was quite good. I mean, there was that. I can't remember what that scene was called in it. I don't know if it was called India or what it was called, but there's some sort of music that was around when I was at school, and that was when the Stone Roses came out, and Fool's Gold and that sort of music, Soup Dragons and things like that. I can't remember what the style of music was called. I think it was called India. I'm not really sure. But that was quite good, some of that. It was a bit experimental. It reminded me a bit of the 1960s. They were using breakbeats, really. They weren't using a drummer, but it was good. Good music. There was also like stereo MCs, Get Yourself Connected. I mean, around the late 80s, early 90s, there was a lot of new styles. It was quite diverse. Whereas these days, people tend to have to bring out a style. Do you like the newer Radiohead stuff, say from 2000 to now? You know what? I've never really ever listened to a Radiohead album, but back in the day when I was younger, I did like Radiohead, but I can't really remember a song that they've done or remember what they've done. I've got no recordings of theirs and I don't check them out. But Radiohead, I did used to like. I did. And there was a band that did a song called Yellow. I can't remember what they were called, but I used to love that song called Yellow. I don't know if you know what I mean. That song Yellow. It sort of reminds me of Radiohead for some reason. I don't know why, but I can't even remember how Yellow went. Really, you should definitely give them a listen. Yeah, I mean, I just don't have time really. If you sent me a link on my WhatsApp, I might check it out. Man. Yeah, that's it. Coldplay. Yeah, that's right. It is a nice song. Yeah. See what I mean? Some bands, like they might make 100 songs, but one song stands out. It's like Fetty Wap. I mean, Trap Queen stands out above the rest. And whereas when you look at someone like Bob Marley, this is what's so special about Bob Marley and the Wailers. Every single song they did stood out. I mean, it just did. I mean, whereas most bands will jam for years, and they'd only get one hit record or one record that makes it. But Bob Marley was so consistent. So maybe Bob Marley is one of my greats, I suppose. I'd have to put him up there because he was consistent. And I don't know if Yellow, I don't know another song by Yellow. I mean Coldplay, I only know Yellow. So if I only know Yellow, that means the rest of them, I don't know, I mean. So there is some bands that do good music sometimes. I mean, I'm not knocking all band music, but I ever listened to Weird Fishes Apology by Radiohead. I think it's one of the most beautiful composed songs I've ever heard. You would have to send me the link on my WhatsApp, which is 07917008654. If you send me the link now, I'll check it out. Otherwise, I'll never get around to it. So it's up to you, but I'm not going to answer that. No fucking point. He's just wasting my time. I don't like talking to him on that phone anyway. Don't call me on that phone. Call me on the other one. Thank you. It's all right. Send me it whenever you're ready. It doesn't matter. There's no rush. Well, the weather's getting really nice. So I was out there today for about 45 minutes, and yeah, I'm really. It's just I can feel the sunlight coming through the curtains, and summer's on its way. I mean, soon we'll be able to take our coats off. And be great. Looking really forward to this summer. I love it when the sunshine comes out. Wonder if we'll have any rain in the summer, like storms and stuff. Some years we get storms recently. Might end up with floods in the summer. But the water level does go down in the summer anyway. I know this because of the allotment. At the allotment, I saw the water level go down. In February, the water level's high, man. I added your number on WhatsApp. How do I message you? I'm not used to WhatsApp. All you have to do is put put Johnny, or make up a name, Johnny Ranking or whatever, as in your contacts. Put the phone number in your contacts, and then when you go to WhatsApp, you have to how do I describe it? You have to drag the screen down. When you drag the screen down, search appears, and then when you press search, you can just start typing my name. My name will appear, and then you can WhatsApp me up from there. I don't know what you mean by you added my number on WhatsApp, but really it should be in your contacts. Are you using an iPhone? I only know how to use an iPhone anyway. On my iPhone, what I do, if I want to add someone to my WhatsApp contacts, I put 07917 008 654. Yeah, I must. I met my contacts. Sorry. I'll try now. All you have to do is go to WhatsApp and have it up where you have your list of your message people. Drag the screen down, and then it'll say search. And then you press search. Type in the name that you want. Someone taught me that trick years ago when they first changed it over, because in the old days the WhatsApp was different. You could access people's things differently. I can't remember the old WhatsApp, but in the new WhatsApp, this is how you do it now. It says I have to send you an invite. Well, send me an invite then. That's fine. That's fine. And then you should be able to post the actual thing at the same time. You should be able to post the link at the same time that you send the invite. You should be able to. So I don't understand why it says that you have to send me an invite, because I'm already on WhatsApp. But so I haven't received it yet. I'll let you know as soon as I get it. There's something wrong with my phone today anyway. Because earlier on I sent myself a text message and I didn't receive it for about 3 hours. So there's something wrong with my phone anyway. I thought that the server would come back because my text message came through and I thought it was back to normal, but it might still have a problem. Maybe I got the number wrong. Let me type it on here. Yes, that's it. 07917 008 654. That's it. Perfect. That's a perfect number. If you sent it, it'll probably come through. It's just that my phone earlier on today wasn't receiving stuff quickly. And when I went out for my walk and when I came back, things that should have been there this morning were there this afternoon. So what I'll do when I get the link, I'll look at the link and I'll message you back saying thanks, and then you'll know that I've definitely seen it. So you don't have to worry. I mean, I'm sure that as you sent it, it's in the system somewhere, and I'm sure that I'll receive it eventually, because there was something wrong. My phone's not receiving things quickly at the moment. I don't know why, but there must be something wrong with the system today. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It'll arrive, and you can just, if you want to stay tuned in, you can, or if you want to go, you can. So when I get the link, I'll look at the link and I'll say thanks. You know, I'll message you back thanks when I've seen it. I'm sure it'll come through eventually. Don't worry. But you can stay tuned in if you want, or you can do whatever you want. You know, we're free to make our own decisions as to how we spend our time, and That's one thing that we are free, and we're also free to feel good. Yeah. I'm keeping my eye on it, but I can't see no message yet. Oh, thanks very much, Moon Garface. That's great. But I don't. As long as you make sure that you prioritise everything that you need to do in your life. Like sometimes I have Jeremy Corbyn on it. I don't know how he manages to do it, but Jeremy Corbyn actually finds time to get on YouTube and come on here. And obviously, he's got a lot of other things to do. So I understand that everyone's got things to do. So you know, I mean, what is your goal? I mean, are you a musician at all? Are you interested in music at all? Because if you are, you're in the right place, really. If you're interested in music, you know, I'm always here to support other talent other than myself. I was interested in producing some of my own stuff, but I'm currently studying unrelated things at university. Okay, well, it's probably best to. You're probably quite wise to keep on focusing with university for now, but what you could do, just in your spare time, is just buy a keyboard for now. Just buy a keyboard, and you could just spend 5 or 10 minutes just messing about with a keyboard in your spare time as a hobby. Just for now, or even a guitar. If you've got an acoustic guitar, just in your spare time. I mean, I know plenty of students that in their spare time they play a bit of guitar or a bit of keyboard or something. I mean, just an idea. I mean, you don't have to produce a whole song. All you need to do is just practice music skills, and the music skills is important. And you might find that practicing music might help with your study as well because it connects parts of the brain. You know, I mean, to be able to play rhythm and timing and to be able to do these things does help the brain. It helps intelligence, and rhythm and timing does help with study, definitely. So, you know, yeah, I was thinking of posting something like FL Studio. Well, I would always go for Logic, really. I know it's on the Mac now, but that's what I would always go for. I use Logic, and that's what the professionals. I mean, it's what insiders told me to do. Insiders told me to get Logic, and that's what I did. And I eventually ended up making a sound that is quite professional because I'm quite untalented with physical instruments. Well, to be honest with you, the only way to make real music is to use real physical instruments. And you might think you're untalented, but it is about practice, and you'd be surprised. I mean, you can learn how to play music quite quickly. I mean, it doesn't really take that long. And the music that I make is live music, really. I mean, let me put something new on for you. I'll put something new on for you because I just want to show you something. I want to demonstrate. This is all live music. It might not sound live, but I just want to show you that. I wasn't going to play this yet, but I'm playing it now. You see, each part, first of all, I'll start off with the drums. So once the drum track is laid, then I'll just jam the rest of the tracks one by one over the top. So it is live music that makes it good.
Life seems like a long journey, road, rock and road. I say life seems like a long journey.
And that's mainly the keyboard that I'm using. That's why I recommend to just to get a keyboard for now. Even a children's keyboard, anything. From a charity shop or anything, just some keyboard. Just to practice playing timing and notes. There's only 8 notes anyway, and I can teach you little tricks to practice, little exercises.
It no easy, culture reality, Rasta come speaking. No for them sit on the play and rushing. Rasta tell them so we no run down vanity. No for them things the life is about their love. Tell them the life is more than that. Rasta teach them what Rasta did. Life. Like that land journey, you and your fun rugby, have to firm and sturdy. That we say you're worthy, I say life. See me it never easy. You say you are gonna take glory easy. God, we see victory. Have to work hard, that protect you. Nothing can say. It's a big push. Things in life, it's a significant big
See, what I want to say to you is that, you see, it doesn't matter what studio you've got to have some musical skill, really, because if you don't have musical skill, a studio can't make you high quality music. It is about playing musical tracks on top of each other, and that's the way to make real music. You know, proper music is. It doesn't matter what studio you got. You could have Logic, you could have Cubase, you could have FL Studio, whatever you've got. If you can't rely on the studio to make you a good sound. You have to have a musical content, really. Oh, sorry, Johnny. I've actually got head off now. That's all right, Garface. Anytime you want to log on, I still haven't got your message yet, but come back and check with me that I received it if you want. Come back another time, and that's fine, man. Thanks very much. Cheers. I'll see you later. Keep up the good work on the stream. That. Thank you very much. I'll try and message you on WhatsApp. Yeah, thanks very much, Garface. Bless up. Good luck on you. Got your phone number anyway. Yeah. That's great, man.
People break the drum.
That's cool. Because if the internet did break down, at least you got my phone number. That's brilliant. Yeah. Because you've always got to remember, the internet might break down. You never know. Thanks very much, Garface. I'll see you later. Hey, Black Knight. You know about self-knowledge. We don't all have it. We're not born with it. We're not born with it. We're not born with self-knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. You've got to learn it. A baby can't even walk with it. They can't even walk with it.
Check out Mama's Kitchen. Check out Mama's Kitchen. Come into a town near you. The Madman. The S.I. Standard Intelligence. DJs in the mix. DJs in the mix. East Live. Reinforced. Prototype. Metalheads. Junior. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the East Life News. The first headline is Attenborough warns of climate crisis moment. The second headline is Chief Executives and Management of Social Services found with no structure. The moment of crisis has come in efforts to change climate change, Sir David Attenborough has warned. Scientists revealed that chief executives with local authorities have been blinkered since before 1983. The 1983 Mental Health Act never really existed because of all civil servants can't read properly. None have contributed to the code of practice. It really is the blind leading the blind. Clearly says this in the mental health laws for nurses that nobody has ever contributed to the code, causing omissions and anomalies in the code.
Check out Mama's Kitchen. Check out Mama's Kitchen. Come into a town near you. The Madman. The S.I. Standard Intelligence. DJs in the mix. DJs in the mix. East Live. Reinforce. Prototype. Metalheads. Junior. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the East Life News. The first headline is Attenborough warns of climate crisis moment. The second headline is
Everybody loves me. 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 Everybody loves me.
When I walk down the street, crazy people that I meet real crazy, blind to the facts of future prophecies, living in fear of fellow citizens and everything, powerless to the powers that be, because they have no belief. They think they can't make a difference. Locally, we can make a difference if everyone just focused on their own problems and then their neighbours' problems. We could solve everything. Unite as one, as the shared vision family, as we're meant to be, helping each and every one, no matter who they are.
Everybody loves me. 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 Everybody loves me.
When I walk down the street, crazy people that I meet real crazy, blind to the facts of future prophecies, living in fear of fellow citizens and everything, powerless to the powers that be, because they have no belief. They think they can't make a difference. Locally, we can make a difference if everyone just focused on their own problems and then their neighbours' problems. We could solve everything. Unite as one, as the shared vision family, as we're meant to be, helping each and every one, no matter who they are.
Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me.
I feel a bit like doing speed tonight. It's because I've got enough money. And I'm not going to see the guy, so I'm not going to do it. It's a shame because I can make a whole load of music. It's not going to happen. I'm a bit tired, I'm a bit worn out. Probably shouldn't do it anyway, and that's probably why I'm not doing it. See, life has this way of like, when the time is right, these things emerge, and when the time's over, the time's over. And that's the way life is. And I just want to make some music, really. I wouldn't mind.
Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves
I haven't got energy at the moment.
Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me.
Might change it over to Pathfinder or it's one with you. Let's change it over to Pathfinder now. It's 5:30, yeah, I'll do. Alright, I'm going to Pathfinder now, alright?